Hello girls. My name is Lidia, and today I'm going to present my comments about the Little Prince book. So I hope you enjoy this presentation. Okay, first of all, I want to tell you a summary of the book and some interesting facts about this book. So first, I will talk about the author. So the author was Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. He was a French aviator and writer. The Little Princess was published in 1943, and he is one of the most famous book in the world. I think that everybody knows the Little Prince, and this can be demonstrated. For example, this book has been translated into 100 of language, and like I said before, it's one of the most famous novels in the world. And the interesting fact that I want to tell you is that people say that Antoine wrote this novel being in Guatemala. And all people say that one of the pictures of the book has coincidence with Cerro de Oro, Sololá, that it's a city inside of Sololá. So in the next slide, I will show you the picture and the drawing, so you can see the coincidence between these pictures. The main characters of the novel are the Little Prince and the narrator. That some people said that the narrator is the own writer. So this book is as an analysis, sorry, of his life, and it's an analysis of his relationship with his wife. The other characters are the rose, the fox, and the different men that Little Princess found in different planets that he had visited. So now you can see here the Cerro de Oro, Sololá, and the drawing that I was telling you, it's a boa that ate an elephant. So this is the first drawing that the narrator talked about in the book. So I will give you a little summary about the book, and I don't know if you have ever read this book because it's very famous, but the book starts with the narrator introducing himself and telling us that he loves to draw, but in the past when he was a child, then adults said said to him that he didn't have talent to draw. So he said that adults lack imagination and understanding, and that's how the book starts. And then he knew a child that he named the Little Prince. And this child is a peculiar child because it's not a person of the earth. And this child is from another planet that is an asteroid. So for me, it's a kind of alien, if you want to see like that. Um, so this child start to talk their about his feelings, and he told to the narrator that in his planet lived a rose, and he's in love of this rose, but he leaves he leaves her because of her vanity and demands became a church for the prince. So he decides to leave her, and travel to know other planets and other realities. Uh, the most relevant thing is that he knows a lot of kind of adults in a different planets, and these planets represent adult problems. For example, one of the planets lived a man that was alcoholic, and in other planet lived a man that was addicted to work. So I think that the author tried to represent the problems of an adult, and how these problems always or almost always make we lost uh, in our daily problems. So in the end, the little prince know a fox, and this fox told him that the most important thing in life is the things that we can see. Um, so for this fox, the important things are the things that we can see only with our heart and with our intuition. So that's a important point, because show us that when we are adult, we are thinking in problems and things that maybe aren't important. So the first thing that I want to talk about is hope. So for me, the little princess teaches that we can still dreaming even we are adults, because I think that this book is a critique of adult behavior, and that we only stop to dream when all hope is gone. Uh, so, and we think there's nothing more that we can do with the situation that we are suffering. So we lost the hope. So I think that if I were the little prince, I will come back with my rose too, and because I hope she's still waiting for me too, like I am waiting for her. And when I read this book, I really thought like, oh, I really wish hope never ran out of my heart, because it's something that is important to keep moving in life. The other topic that is important to me to mention in this book is intuition and creativity. Sorry. So I want to read a quote that is in the book that for me is very important. It says, "It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye." So most of the time we used to stop imagining because we don't have time to be over the moon. We are thinking in all responsibilities that we have. And otherwise, the important things we only can see with intuition and creativity, you know? It's like the most important things in life are abstract. For example, love, softly, kindness, all of that things are abstract. So are things that we can't touch, but we can feel and we can think about it, and we can imagine things with that feeling. So for me, it's a big teaching and to have present that we have to um, give give importance to the little things and daily things that maybe we don't consider it vital, but at the end of the day, are the things that always are there, like and kindness, and all of that. So we must imagine that, see with the heart all the possibilities. And we used to ignore that feeling, the love and kindness and all of that, because of word noise, it's louder than our heart and mind. So I think that it's important have our heart and mind as a priority, because they teach us a lot. So if I were the narrator, I will learn so much by Little Prince, because the Little Prince in the book, it's a simple person, you know, and he doesn't want too much to live. So I think that is important, to be simple. And the last thing that I want to talk about is courage. In the end of the book, the little prince decides to come back with his rose, because at the end of the day, he realized that he still loved her. So she decided to come back uh, with his love. But to achieve this, he have to be uh, biting for this snake, you know. And maybe you can think that it's a crazier, or yeah, that it's a crazy or something like that. But for me, it's a way to be courage. And so for me, the little prince taught us to fight for the things and people that we love, and teach us that loving someone is something about courage, because you have to be able to recognize that you made a mistake, or to recognize that you can be better, for example. And that requires a lot of courage for me to move on of that zone of comfort, and be uncomfortable just to change for someone that you love. So the little prince designed being bitten by a snake just to come back with his rose, and he knew that was the only way to see her again. So for me, he was very brave, and he learned so much through the other's pain. So because he knew these other adults that were alcoholics, that were addicted to work, for example, and he learned that 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 life isn't for him, that he prefers to be brave and love the person that he loves, but he doesn't want to be an adult. So if he hadn't had courage to decide for Rose love, he would have regretted to not fight for her love. And I think that is something that it's very common between adults, that we are always regretting about things that we should do, but we didn't. So yeah. And in conclusion, for me, the Little Princess has so many teachings, and I just mentioned 3 or 4, but has um, more. Amazingly, it's like the book talks with everyone in a different way, and I think that it depends what are you passing through, and this is how teachings will help you. And for me, it's not a book for child. I think that it's so abstract. I mean, it has a lot of lessons for adults, and are things that only adults can understand. So I really wish everybody could read this book and learn all lessons I learned, because for me it was very useful. And I think that it's a book that gives us the opportunity to uh, grow into and be a better person. So I better stop here because I don't have time for. So I don't know if does anyone have any questions or comments?
Yeah, Lydia. I wonder if you feel related to the little prince.
Mm, in a part of the book, maybe, because a part of the book, he explained that he left his rose because this rose believed her, like like she was unique and she was very demand and all of that. And I think that he he thought he thought that the rose isn't like enough, like the rose didn't deserve his effort. So yeah, in that case, I feel a little bit related with Little Prince, because it's difficult to identify when someone really deserve your effort, and sometimes we have to lose that person to understand that it's important for us.
Okay, thank you.
Lydia, I just want to tell you that I really enjoy your presentation and your point of view. And I like to know which chapter or travel do you like most? For example, when he meets, I remember that one man, or when, I don't know, he visits different planets or places. So which one it was your favorite one?
Okay, my favorite chapter was when he met the fox, because he, in the end, he figured out a lot of things that he didn't understand before. And he gave you the opportunity to know other places first, and then that knowledge help him to understand something more deeply, and yeah, that's my favorite chapter.
Okay, thank you, Lydia.
Okay, if you don't have any more questions or comment, I just conclude my presentation, saying thank you for your attention. I I wish and I wish that you enjoyed this presentation. Thank you.